comes my hero, or there goes my hero. Either way, you don't have to actually say.
Justin knows that I've been slacking on my training, so he made me sign up for a race on Saturday to run with him.
Oh, yeah, good job, Justin. Way to pressure your friends.
No, it wasn't in a room.
Oh, it's just, I
It's I believe
supporting
it
you,
would be.
but-
Yeah, you are.
Good job. Where are you guys racing?
Well, if no one wants to run a 5K, I may have another entry if you want to run a 5K on Saturday morning.
Where at?
12th Street at the
12th Street.
Ogden Nature Center.
Oh, fun. That'll be a good, that'll be a good location.
Can we walk the 5K? Yeah.
You can.
I was actually gonna call you out specifically, Miss Walker, but that's like a walk.
Okay.
Speaking of Christy, so my, I don't know, do I have that much energy?
I did it for you.
Yeah.
Sharon. Stand up and be like, bring the energy up before Tim. I'm gonna bring the energy up in the room before you get on.
So my
You gotta
clients,
get your shit together, guys.
this is my shout out. So, good, quiet down. So my clients were like, hey, we want to have a picture with the sold sign, bring the sold sign. And I was running late. Like, Christy, do you have one? She's like, at my house.
Of course she does.
And I'm like, well, we're not at your house, we're at the office. And she's like, hold on. And she like runs to her house, and grabs it and brings it back. And so, and my clients like, were so happy because they posted it
I did see them post it.
and. I was
Keep
seeing
putting
all
your
these
car
things.
You love it. Christy saves the day. This is how we know that she might actually be a bionic woman because maybe she didn't even really maybe she wasn't even physically here and she just left mentally. Like,
No,
that's
she
how
was here.
good she is.
I was cooking my breakfast. I'm
You
like,
just
I don't have time.
started.
I don't have time to go to. your
Justin's like, I gotta cook my breakfast. Will you go get it for
And so
me?
she like ran while I was like cooking my breakfast. And by the time my breakfast, then I was back. She's amazing. So,
Love it.
Thanks.
Okay.
We gotta feel Ben Moa's fighting bare knuckles this Saturday.
Yeah, if anybody's into fight nights, one of our agents is doing a bare knuckle fight. Just for fun, I guess. Just kidding, it's actually a competition, but that is a line in a
Who
song.
wants to get punched in the face?
Yeah, so
Fair-
anyway,
fair enough.
to go, it's at the Maverick Center. I'm a big fan of fight nights, so let me know if you're interested. I'm gonna get tickets tonight. So, yeah, shout out to Ben. I like it. For going outside of his comfort zone. I'm gonna give myself a bucket fill for not getting punched in the face with therapists. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'll give everybody for like just giving me smiles and
You were
encouragement last
amazing.
week, and you guys all are sunshine.
Aw.
Okay.
I won't name who it is because they didn't say it publicly, but I will say that someone came up to me like maybe the next day or something and said, I was just thinking a lot about Claudia's class and like that I need to make sure I'm smiling more and being
Aw.
more inviting because I'm a really friendly person, but maybe I've not always perceived as one or something along those lines. So big, huge shout out to you. Hey, any more? Moving on?
Definitely no singing, but again, just always
No
Ken
singing.
and Sean, it doesn't matter. They deal with my texts or calls or pops in the office. Whether it's urgent, whether it's delayed, and they always like get back to me as soon as they can, and I just wicked appreciate having them available.
Wicked,
Yes. To
wicked smart.
Love it. Okay. I for some reason don't, okay. Wants and needs, who's got some new listings?
I got one.
Let's do it.
Up in South Ogden, it's 5 bed, 3.5 bath. Remodeled, new flooring, new very comfortable carpet, new countertops, granite countertops. We're asking $550.
Okay, basically all remodeled, sorry, you were talking
Yes,
so fast, I
we-
couldn't get it.
I
All remodeled,
except the bathrooms.
except the bathrooms, okay, 5.3, what's the price?
550 is what we're asking. And it's about 2,500 square feet.
Nice. Where's that at in South Ogden?
It's by Glassman, if you know where Glassman is. It's
I know where it is.
past the Sinclair and Arctic Circle.
Awesome. Okay, who else? What?
That's nice, right?
That is a really nice area, yeah. Good
So I
price.
have one.
Claudia,
Yeah. We're going live this week, so probably Thursday. So it is 4 bedroom, 4 bath. 2,200 square feet in Layton,
4 bedroom, 4 bathroom.
East Layton. Yeah,
did you say 5 bedroom, 4 bath or 4?
it's, well, there's like a room without windows downstairs that it's like soundproof, like someone uses their YouTube room. Do you know what I mean? It's got all that still up there if anyone.
And 2,200 square
Gaming
feet,
or
that's
whatever.
like an ensuite. Like,
Mhm.
Part of moving.
It's an awesome, amazing house. Anyway,
What is it? Did you tell me already?
East Layton. And we're going to be listing at 525 because we want it to move.
Oh, yeah, well, that's good.
And so these guys bought it under a year ago, and they're the type of people, the house is already in great condition. When they purchased it, it's just too many stairs. They're just realized they're older than they remembered. And so
Right.
we're just finding a single level for them. However, they took everything from Inspector Tony and even the minor things, like everything's checked off. So
Super cool.
it's a clean move-in ready house.
Awesome. That goes like Thursday.
Yes.
Perfect. What else? The listings? Price reductions we want to talk about. Senia?
I have a listing in North Salt Lake. It's a 5-bed, 3-bath on a 1/4 acre. It's 4,028 square feet with views on views on views.
Views forever.
Forever. 1.2.
Nice listing. Is this your first over $1 million listing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that, you guys, from calling her SOI. That's how you should have started,
Yeah.
the hair toss. Okay, anyone else, new listing? Christy, then Fabian.
Not new, it's been on for a couple weeks, but it's West Jordan Townhome. 3-bed, 2.5 bath. 465, and if anyone's interested in doing an open house there this weekend would be awesome. It's vacant, so you can go and pick your time. They would prefer like 11 to 1, but you can pick your time.
Okay, love it. Fabian?
This one is in Roy, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, about 2,500 square feet. It's not remodeled. It doesn't have views, but it's super cute. It has a 3-car garage and it has 0.4 acres. And I'm thinking around 425 just because it's dated. It's not beat up, it's not abused, it's just
Just needs a
drama
fix.
stuff, yeah.
You guys, that's a huge opportunity. 3-car garage and 0.4 acres. Like, how often do you ever find those anymore for never? Even in the 4s, even under 5 at all. end. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's coming up probably this week.
Okay.
So, yeah, let me know, and
We can get a
it's
sneak
vacant,
peek.
so yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome. Jerry?
So 2 coming soon. Ogden. 3-bed, 1 bath. 375 and 1-car garage. And then Layton. 3-bed, 2 bath.
Also coming soon?
Yeah, 3-bed, 2 bath, 1 car. In Chelsea Park. For 425.
Love it. Anyone else? Hey, I have a little fun tip that I'd like to share about listings. So if you have anybody that's been talking about wanting to make a move, so in Plain City right now, there is an interesting thing happening, which is a ton of new constructions, mainly like Nielsen Homes, like between high 6s, high 7s, right? And then there's over 1 million. And there is a gap right in the middle from like 850 to 950. And everything that, like, I listed that on a Thursday, had showing on a Friday, went under contract on Sunday. I have a friend that just listed another one in Plain City, $899. Listed it on like Tuesday. I saw the photos of it, sent her a message that house is gorgeous. Can you send me the details? She's like, yeah, but we're under contract. We just had gone under contract, like 24 hours. So if you, my thought with that was, if you have people who have been saying that they want to move, but for whatever reason, they weren't sure what it was going to look like, if they were in that price point, I would call them again, because there's a need for it for sure. And I think that if you're pricing it right and you're giving the right advice to your people on how to get it to go, I think a lot of times we get like that 850 price point. We're like, oh, I might sit for a while. It's really not. It's going super fast, especially in Weber County. So just a little hot tip. Call everybody you know that's lived in like in my head, I'm like, this is a good opportunity to call the people who bought their house for like 500-ish or 5,500, maybe 6-7 years ago. Now it's doubled in equity. Do they still need that much space? Because both of the, like mine and then my friends that also just got listed, both of those were people who had built that, like they built their house. My people had built their house in 2018. But their circumstances changed. They're empty nesters now. They built this huge house thinking that was what they needed when their kids were at the age they are. Their kids have all moved to Box Elder County. They have this huge house that they don't need anymore. Other people, empty nesters too. So I'm thinking there was a lot of people that upgraded their homes between like 2017 and 2020 that went from, you know, maybe their 4-3 split entry into these big ramblers that now their situation's changed a little bit. And like my people specifically were like, yes, we're going to build another home in Box Elder County, but also they wanted to sell right now where they knew what the market conditions were. So I think that's a really good opportunity to think through who in your database do you know that has those like 4,500 foot plus ramblers that they bought. And now maybe you're trying to downsize a little bit because there is a demand for it. So anyway, that's it. I'm off my soapbox. Oh, also, I still have my duplex upstairs. My basement's rented, but my upstairs is available for $1,500 a month. 2-1. And it has a yard, washer, dryer on site, in their own apartment, all the things.
Where's that one?
It's in Washington Terrace. Yes, I do allow dogs. In fact, I love dogs. I encourage dogs. I'm sad for people that don't have them. Justin.
My rental in, just down the street, 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom, remodeled for 2,500 square feet, fenced yard. Bring your dogs, bring
Bring your dogs, bring your chickens, bring whatever you want.
Air Force pilots.
yep. Yeah, my people got deployed.
Oh, I'm sad. And it's a 5-2,
5'2".
and that's for rent. Okay. Be the solution, however you have to get there, guys. Okay, today we have tech bar at 1:30. Bring any tech questions that you have or TWEC questions. Whatever you want to do. Thursday, we're gonna talk about Red Day in a minute. Friday, compliance with Ken. 5 ways to get sued doing real estate. That sounds like a fun one, Ken.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good time. Well,
Well, there's way more. These are the top 5.
the 5 easiest, actually. The 5 most recent lawsuits filed against realtor.
This sounds
Okay.
like an exciting class.
I love it.
It's very timely.
Upbeat and.
And then Friday, we have our RPAC fundraising lunch. I'm gonna talk about that later. You guys, we hit our goal for pantry pack. Yeah. So we hit our goal, which means we need your help. I think a lot of you have already signed up. If you haven't, it's not too late to come and help that day. I think we do still have some extra cards, although I know Stephanie's mom's been making a bunch, so maybe we'll have extras, which we can just hold on to for next time. But Red Day is a unique opportunity in our company, again, that we all can come together and do something for the community. So I want to give Ken a big special thank you because he is the one who puts this together. He brought this to us a couple years ago, and it's been just, it's a fun event to be part of, and it's a feel-good event. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we've created enough money to pack 1,000 of these. They're going to go home with kids that are hungry. So show up here unless you've been asked to come early for a setup. It's at 10 a.m. Luke Balster has graciously agreed to cook a barbecue for us that Unity's sponsoring. So we're going to have lunch after. So come and spend some time doing some good things for your people. For your fellow.
We've been telling everyone it's at 9.
Yeah. Oh, so it's at 9. Why did I think the thing said 10?
No, it's 10 o'clock is what we need to do, because I'm not gonna be here at the truck till 8:30. And we need an hour to set up,
Okay.
so, yeah, 10 o'clock is,
10.
if you come early, we're not gonna be ready for you. So
That would be a great time to call your SOI and tell them what you're
let's
doing.
change that to 10 as the actual start time to start building,
How long do you think it's gonna go for?
2 hours.
2 hours and then we'll have lunch.
My mom would like to.
I think that's fine. The one thing that I get worried about when we're bringing extra people is just, I want to make sure all of our agents have an opportunity to help. So if she wants to come and then just, she might have to swap people in and out. Definitely not an event like I know we've
Yeah.
done some in the past where we could bring like the more the merrier. This is not that just because it'll get overwhelming with too many people. But, you know, more hands give everybody a little bit. of a break. So, if you have a red shirt, wear it. It's not required. Ignite is coming up May 12th. We're super condensing Ignite so that we can get it done in 4 sessions. So remember, Ignite, 8 sessions, sorry, 4 Monday through Thursday. We cut out Fridays. It starts at 5 PM on those days. Anybody that's on Zoom or that is in the room that's worried, like I had someone say like she works until a certain time, can she get there? I think it's better for you to come late than not to come at all. Ignite was initially created for anybody to become a capping agent, which at the time Ignite was created, and this has gone through many evolutions, that was about 20 transactions. So I think that even if you just looked at the schedule and maybe you're not going to attend every session, but there's a couple sessions, even as an experienced agent, that I think you could gain some value from. So make sure you support Ignite starting May 12th. This is a great invite as well. If you know somebody in the industry that's maybe a newer agent or that's struggling to get off the ground, this is a great invite for them to come to this session. Personally, I think that if you came to Ignite and you actually did the activities, because what I see happen a lot, and we cruise through this content, it's a lot of content shoved into 8 days total. But I think if you really took the time to do the activities you're supposed to be doing on when you're not sitting in Ignite, I feel like you could easily bring 5 transactions just from Ignite. Do you disagree?
I do not disagree. I think that's,
Okay.
The other
I-
thing too is I think it's like that if your foundations aren't strong anymore because the market has been heavy and you need to rebuild those foundations. It's good for agents that are already capping even.
Yep.
Or that have capped.
They're great foundational pieces to your business, good reminders. Okay, growth code with green. Marcus Quarterly is going to be doing a growth code. As you guys know, we're committed to personal growth, business growth, and wealth growth. And this one's going to be specific to production. Okay, because business growth is a big deal right now, and we've really got to focus. We've got to double down. If you're looking at kind of trends, you're seeing Weber and Davis County, there's less sales than there were this time last year. However, many of you in this office are up compared to your sales last year, so we want to make sure that we're keeping you going the right direction. That's May 13th. Please RSVP. Again, great one to bring a friend to. Commercial referrals for real estate agents. So Corey Burdener is going to be here on the 21st of May from 2 to 3. This is something that I think is a really important piece of business is referrals. And I think that if you're not thinking of where you can get or send referrals, you're missing a piece of the opportunity. So he's going to tell you an easy way to reach out to your database about commercial deals and be able to get income coming from them where it's just a nice handoff. I've personally sent commercial deals to Corey, and I can tell you they were in great hands. They were taken care of, and they were handed right back to me at the end of it, which doesn't always happen sometimes when you're sending them to a commercial agent. So anyway, if you're interested in learning more about what this arm of your business could look like, I'm a big believer in having all different types of income coming in, not just based on your production. So this could be another source of income is referral, commercial referrals. Conversational framework. Stone's not in the room to tell us about this, but I have seen this growing in popularity. Does anybody want to give a testimonial for this besides myself? Dylan.
I have tremendously benefited from these conversational frameworks, especially being the time at 10 a.m. In my most recent neighborhood walk, I had 2 full-on 15-minute conversations with people. Before that, I struggled with confidence in keeping those conversations going. Even so much as somebody stepping out of their car, I would say to myself, oh, no, they just got home from work. They don't want to talk right now. But since going to these conversational frameworks with Dalton, it's been highly beneficial for confidence
Love
and
it.
to know what to say.
I love it. Thank you for that. I think it's really critical to know what to say and how to say it. And these are like real world. Like I can hear them in my office. I think I've told you guys this, just so you know. I can hear like you're sitting in the office with me, so don't ever talk crap about me sitting right here because I'll totally hear you. But I hear the conversations, and they're really good conversations, and they're relevant conversations. So if you're just struggling with like how to start a conversation, how to have a conversation, it's been interesting to watch because I hear the role play in them. And sometimes when we're first role playing something, like we're stumbling through it a little bit. And then by the second time or third time around, You're just picking up on it easier. And I say this all the time, but like practice with your peers is free. Practice with your clients can cost you the deal. So practice with your peers. There's no reason, it's a super safe space. There's no reason we shouldn't be filling this room. So that is on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 10 a.m. And then the advanced classes weekdays at 9:29. If you're interested in that class, contact Dalton first. Oh, there we go. Mega Agent Camp is in Texas. The price increases on June 5th. So if you want to go, scan the QR code, make sure you get signed up for that. The longer you wait until the June 5th deadline, the more hotels will fill up. So your first choice hotels will likely be gone. Or are you scanning? Okay. If you want to, and even if you scan this, it will show you the agenda and everything. So if you want more info about it, go there. You already needed to sign up for this, but we've given you an extension through tomorrow. If you're interested in attending the Surf and Swim Summer Party, here's some common misconceptions I would like to tell you. One, you don't have to be in a swimsuit if you don't want to. Are you going to get in the pool and swim with your clients, or are you going to be talking to them as they're coming and greeting them? So you don't have to wear a swimsuit if you don't want to. So get that one out of your head. Number two, it's something fun, different. We're going to feed them. It's a great family activity. And it's also just a great couples, teens. It's kind of a all-encompassing event. And it's so freaking easy because the Smart Plan is already created for you. The advertising that you're going to need, you're going to show up. There's no setup. Literally, it's the pool. It's already decorated. Surprise. It's decorated like a swimming pool. So you get to show up. It's super easy. There's not space for booths. So you get to just be there greeting your clients. It's not a bunch of setup. It's not a bunch of takedown. It's literally just an easy event for you to be able to be there with your clients. On Wednesday, the 14th of May, we're going to do a little Mother's Day brunch here at the office. I'm working on some things to make it special. So if you are a mom or if you want to bring your mom, I just do need some RSVPs so I know how many people to plan on. So this is a fun event. We're just going to love on our mamas for a minute. They can bring their kids if they want to, right?
No. Just the dogs.
Of course you can, just include them in your RSVPs.
Just for your
Okay, RPAC roundup this Friday is our RPAC roundup. Those of you that came to our event last Thursday where we talked with UDOT and Kate came from UA, our government affairs, you know how important RPAC funds are. This is also a really fun fundraiser always. Scan your QR code. This is a couple people are getting confused on this. It takes you to a one bid like website that you'll set up an account. All of the payments, all of the bids are being done through that auction website. So if you haven't done this in the past, it does go through an auction website. Christy, you have something to say.
I was just gonna say, you guys, these prices that you can win, like trip to Mexico, we have second row jazz tickets for, you can pick your jazz game. There's some pretty
I posted on our Facebook page, like the half of the board office, that huge lobby when you walk in is filled with prizes. So there's a lot of really cool stuff. I posted it to our private page. So yeah, RSVP, there's no cost to attend. And here's my thing with RPAC is I don't care if you start out buying one raffle ticket. Buy one raffle ticket. Eventually this will snowball and you will see it grow and why you need to be involved. But come and just buy one raffle ticket. And then walk around the raffle items and envision the one you're going to win, because that's what I always do and I always win. So just envision what you're going to win. But buy one raffle ticket. It's cowboy themed. So you know I'm going to be there with my boots on. You guys know, like, there's nothing that's going to get me to a party faster than having a good theme. So throw on some gear, come to the party. If you don't have gear, call me. I guarantee you, between Sean and I, we could outfit the entire room. Justin, your shirt might be too tight. It might be like instead of a medium, it might be like an extra medium.
But if I just have overalls that are American, then that's it.
That's Tim, if that's the impression you would like to bring to the RPAC fundraising, look, you do you.
Wear one of Justin's,
Just don't sit by me.
brooch shirts, you just put a belt around it.
Yeah.
Like a pajama shirt.
Now, if you scan this every month, KWRI puts out a real estate market update, which are really good. Between this and the MRA podcast right now, man, there has been just, it is fire. There is so much good content coming out and there's so much content that you need to know. So anyway, scan this. It's a free subscription, of course, as you could imagine. And it's just gonna give you a update, monthly insight. You know what you could do? Wild idea. You could take that monthly insight, you could recreate it, make your own video.
That link doesn't,
You know, that link is-
hey, that link doesn't.
Hey, guys, I don't know who did the link, but it was not me.
Bradley.
Bradley or Vincy, one of you.
It's KWRI, so.
Okay, we're gonna get you the right link and we're gonna send it out.
Stick it in the month, the email.
It's
Yes,
Vincent's
this
fault.
is from, this was KWRI, so we're gonna send a strongly worded email this
Just it's-
afternoon.
It's Vincey's fault. She's still learning.
Case score, I just want to tell you guys that, our KW prep students feel the most perfectly prepared to enter their real estate career. So remember, if you have someone interested in real estate, contact Bradley, and he can get them set up for Case score, which is a scholarship program to Kaplan University. One quick thing about this, because I do have people who have been frustrated, it doesn't include whatever school they want to go to. It is through Kaplan University only. It's our partnership with them. If they're a more in-person learning style, I actually really highly recommend OTech. But this would be an online version if they want to do online versus in person. Just want to set the stage for that. Shauna, this is you. Come on down. Regional KW parents down.
Thank you.
That's her first day.
It's my first day. You all are my guinea pigs.
Yay.
Creative criticism will be happily accepted. It's May and May is KW Cares Month. And what we're doing this year in honor of Mo Anderson's 80th birthday, every market center is challenged to raise $898 through that QR code. Hopefully it works. It's from regional, so. Anyway, if we earn the $888, we will get a coaching session with Mo herself, which is a pretty big deal. So what is KW Cares? For everybody who doesn't know, this is our fundraising arm of our family tree. We provide monetary and other help during natural disasters, local disasters, personal disasters, you name it. We are there for you through grants. Last year alone, KW Cares gave over $4 million out in grants. Majority of which went to North Carolina. The other majority went to California to help our family. In North Carolina, we were one of the few organizations able to go in with our semis. We unloaded generators, food, water, diapers. We got our family in North Carolina up and running again. So we had 5 hurricanes last year and KW Cares put out grants for all of them. The easiest way for you to give is when you do a transaction, you can set up your command to automatically donate to KW Cares. You can pick a percentage, you can pick a dollar amount. I personally donate $100 per transaction to KW Cares for our family. It's super easy to do. You just go to your command page, log in under your profile, scroll to my affiliations, select our region, our M Market Center, which is 106. You can select the donations, manage deductions, and then decide how you're going to give your money in a percentage or a dollar amount. Just so you are aware, 70% of all the KW Cares donations are this way through our transactions. Sadly, only 23% of all KW agents give. So if we could bump that up a few percentage points, that would be awesome. But you know, life is what it is. So if you can only give your amount to this month, we will happily accept it as well. So from now till May 31st, KW Cares, you can donate. And I hope you all do it because I would love to have a session with Mo. Thank you.
If you guys donate, screenshot it. I think we have a slide, but we have one of Mo's books. Let's check that slide. I don't know. Is it this? Yep. Oh, right here. So anyone who donates at least 25 bucks in the month of May, just screenshot it. And send me a text with a screenshot. We're gonna enter you into a drawing to win a copy of Mo's book, which we feel life.
It's amazing.
It's a good book. It's a great book. So if you can do at least 25 bucks, Bradley, can you send out those step-by-step instructions on how to set up transactional giving? Thank you.
I've got it written down. I can send it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that'd be
post it
awesome.
up on our Facebook.
Yes,
page as
post it
well.
on our Facebook page as well. I think, guys, you're never gonna notice a little amount coming out of your checks. And back to the RPAC, even if you can just buy one raffle ticket, even if you can just commit to donate 10 bucks out of your commission check, you'll never notice it. But that goes it goes a really long way. Our office personally, over the last few years, has probably received, I bet over the last maybe 5 or 6 years, probably close to 50,000 through KW Cares grants. So they do matter. It is important, and it all goes directly back. Like everybody that's a KW Cares employee is either a volunteer, like Shauna, or they're a part of KW International's staff. So none of the money that you donate goes anywhere except for back into our grants.
So they just restructured this and our staff is only 4 people. Everybody else is a volunteer to do the term. And we want to show them that Utah kicks butt. So
Yes, I would love it. Thanks, Shauna. Great job. Okay, so again, between now and May 31st, donate 25 bucks, screenshot that you did it and send it to me. That's how I'm gonna know. Make sure you're making all your calls in a TCPA friendly and compliant way. We don't want you to get sued, and it's happening. Hey, the one, the only, fighting out of the north corner, south corner, actually.
165 pounds, 5'7",
Purple, Timothy Hewlett.
mini Rocky, as I like to call myself. Actually, Sly and I aren't that far apart. I think he's 5'8". He's only an inch taller than me. Where's the energy, guys? Russell, I promise I'll just promise the energy. I was
Stand up. You take a picture of that.
Can I erase this, Bradley?
They'll be sent out in key meeting.
You don't need that. Okay.
I was visualizing you and Sylvester Stallone.
In Russia, working on the barn on the everybody's got a fight. All right, how many of you have actually read this book?
How many of us have heard of this book?
Have you not heard of this book? I know that Keller Williams has a version of this, which is, what's it called, Rusty? Do you remember? The Keller Williams version?
I don't.
Nope.
Critical Conversations, maybe it's
Oh,
not this.
that's not Keller Williams, but that's Keller Williams. That's a really big component of it. Are you talking about Phil Jones? Exactly what to say?
No, there's another version of this, but anyway. What is a critical conversation and how many of you have had this in the last week? Would you mind sharing what that critical conversation was? Curious.
I had a critical conversation with a client about their property that might have to go through probate, what that looks like, and then I gained enough of their trust that they just sent my contact information to their lawyer and introduced me as their agent for having anything signed.
Was there a lot of emotions involved in that conversation
So many.
from your end or from their end? Ah, how did you control your emotions? Just curious.
I made sure to stay empathetic the whole time. But also help provide solutions that we're just focusing on what the issues were at the moment.
I love that. That's a very heavy conversation to prepare for. Justin, what was yours? Do you not want to share this? Was this more relationship based or was this more client based?
I have a teenage son who has been home alone at times with a girl. And so we're having very crucial conversations about what happened.
I would imagine your emotion level was probably significantly higher than his.
Yeah, he doesn't want to participate in said conversation. And dad is forcing, said, and even with the girl in the room that I just met with, hey, I'm leaving. Yeah, so, yeah.
Love it. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So I have a client that we've been struggling for the last 18 months with a property line dispute. And after the judge ordered a survey, I went and found a surveyor who is doing the whole property for a third of what the out-of-state owner was being quoted.
Wow,
We're getting it done this week and that house is going on the market.
18 months.
18 months.
Yes. Sometimes it takes 18 months to get that listing live. So exciting. I want to start out with a couple quotes. This one, and I share this with Rusty all the time, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it is actually taking place. Have you ever gone to like and plan on having something and nothing got accomplished? Yeah, that was not a conversation. It was just the illusion of one. And then to effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world. One thing that's common and something to remember as we go through this, what are the 7 human natures, especially when you deal with your clients? The 7 different human traits or natures that we all evolve to, especially when you deal with clients. One, the prediction of how they're going to future behave is based upon past behavior. Like history repeats itself, especially in the people that we deal with. And so like understanding this in conversation and being able to repattern that. 2, people are hardwired to be negative. It's the way we are, right? When something happens, do we always go to the positive side? What happens? Why do we go down this? Why? It's just we're hardwired to be negative. It's the way we are. We see ourselves negatively. We see other things negatively. It's just the way it works. 3, people want to be seen and heard. They want to be understood. They want to make sure that you understand them, which is one of the things Russ and I talk about all the time. Show me you know me, right? If you're not working on that with your clients, show me you know me. 4, the fear of losing is significantly like more powerful than that of winning, right? To make up for losing $10, you have to win 20 just to make up for that negative impact. So it takes double the win to make up for the fear of loss. 5, they actually trust the people that understand them. And 6, everyone wants the easy button. They want the easy path, and how they do that. That's like, we like to be negative. We like to go the easy path, which in this industry is a little bit more challenging to navigate. And then last, people will die with their autonomy. They want the ability to make the decisions. One more quote, which I think this leads perfectly into crucial conversations. Sunshine all the time makes a desert. Right? It can't be sunshine all the time, or else we're going to be living in some brutal desert, right?
Life.
The reason I think that's right. When we expect flowers, we have to also not just expect the rain, but the mud that comes with it. And so part of understanding the nuances of conversation and how to show up safely and all these things, it's what's going to create this beautiful Eden, if we will, that we try to hopefully convey in our culture here at KW Success. All right, crucial conversation. Stakes are always high. Opinions are very, and one of the key ones, emotions run strong. Who's very emotional? Rusty, would you say I'm emotional?
Yes.
Yes. My kids would say so. They tell me all the time, Dad, you're not going to cry, are you? So I typically, every time they perform,
All the time, he's actually tears are shooting out of his face.
it's not just crying, it's like ugly crying, snot bubbles, all that stuff.
It's not pretty.
And the reason why she had to throw away her last blazer because there was just tears and makeup and everything. And we avoid them because we feel like we handle them poorly. We don't have the confidence going into that, or we don't have the emotional fortitude to actually navigate them. Calling, getting feedback, ending a relationship, or enhancing, building a relationship. Successful people handle them very well. Like we say with going to Dalton's class, you can learn the skills and how to do this. And it's not about the personality you have or the position you fill or the team you run or the team you work for. It's a typical skill. But it's the heart, it's where you're going to perform at the highest level, especially in your real estate business. All right. I always want to say start with the heart. And the reason why this is important is whenever you go into something, the more words we say, the more confusion that it brings. How many of you got into transactions and it's like totally confusing? Why do you think it goes that way?
We talk.
right? We talk too much. We complicate everything by saying too many words. And the reason when we talk too much is we're always trying to sugarcoat or make something better. And so the key is always understand where you are with your art. What is it you really want? One of my favorite quotes, the biggest failures in life are giving up what we want for what we want right now. Sometimes the biggest success is walking away from a challenging client or something that's going to take away that piece of what you really want. So focus on what you want for yourself. You always have to go into any kind of a critical conversation or negotiation, like taking accountability of your heart. What is it I want first? Take care of what you want first, and then get into the conversation of what the other person wants. Don't fall into the traps of wanting to always win, seeking revenge, or avoiding discomfort. Those three things, what are those based on? Fear. Emotions, yes. Emotions, fear, I always want to win, seeking revenge, getting something out of it. Like that's
That hurts.
seeking revenge. Julie? No, no. When we seek revenge, we are going down this road of giving up what we want long-term for what we want right now. All right. What is it you want? Have you guys defined to do this? Anyone that meets with me, I always ask them, like, what is it you want? Like, that's understanding what you want helps you clearly define the why. And so getting into that conversation and knowing what you want for yourself makes it much easier and simplifies the conversation. You want to simplify, avoid the sugarcoat. Learn to look. Notice when a conversation becomes crucial. What silence and violence, what is that based on? The other person's emotion, right?
Yeah.
So how many of you have heard that it's not what you said, it's how you said it? Ugh.
I think Justin's heard that one before.
What?
Your tone. Your tone.
wrong, Jay. So what do you guys think?
Sorry, this isn't about me.
Yeah.
Clearly not striking.
No, like, just why don't you give us some real life experience and we'll base the rest of this conversation. So it's
Let's help Justin Powers do it.
before yesterday, as I was kind of going through some slides and stuff, there, obviously, if anybody's looking at the opportunities that Marcus and Russ even provided to invest in owning title and more of the things, I made a conversation with one of the previous brokers that I worked with out in Los Angeles. His name's Todd Pearl. He's a very devout Jewish gentleman. I love this guy, heart of gold. And we got to talking yesterday and the conversation kind of went on a different tangent. And he's raised his kids Jewish. And one of the things that I wanted to find out, because I never dove deep into it, because he married an Irish Catholic, which you could not imagine the two sides of the spectrum, right? I mean, it's almost as like Mormon and atheist, like it's really kind of on two sides of the spectrum. And what was interesting is he wasn't getting married because he wasn't finding the Jewish girl that he was really wanting. And his mom was pressuring him and said, finally, I just want you to be happy. And so he had met Joni, and as this Irish Catholic redhead, into drama, sings, musical, like all these things. And he couldn't be more of the opposite of that. And so they attended a class held at one of the Jewish temples in Los Angeles of how to work with interfaith marriages. And one of the funny quotes that was said was, you know, the thousands of years the Jews have been persecuted, the only thing that's going to destroy them from the face of the earth is interfaith marriages. Mm-hmm. And he said he's been the only couple that has survived that from that class that he took, 35 years ago. And so I wanted to dive in, like, how did you make this work? Like, what were the conversations like? What was it like? And so I kind of want to take that as like our basis to move forward, because I think that's one of the most crucial conversations that you have. So when you having this self-awareness of how somebody's doing it, when somebody goes silent, what are the ways that they go silent? Masking, avoiding, or withdrawn, right? What is it? Give me an example of what you think masking is. I'm the master at masking, probably the greatest of all time. And I use sarcasm as a means to, like, that's a huge mask, the sarcasm or self-deprecation in that regard. Looking for that and seeing that. That's why it's always important, these conversations. I know we always focus on the telephones and things. Having these in person allow you to see body language, see intent, feel intent. It's why in a digital world, it's really hard to have these. And it was funny in my conversation with Todd, he does the majority of his listing presentations over Zoom. And he like crushes it. It's just an interesting way of how he's been able to navigate conversations in the way that he does not emotionally get impacted based upon what he experiences.
I think another form of masking is just like wanting to end the conversation. So telling people what they want to hear. Right? I think that's a way
Totally.
people mask a lot of times is they just go, oh, okay, yeah, yep, sounds good. Yeah, I'll figure it out. So you
Yeah.
just smile it away.
I don't want to talk about.
Yep, and it's a way of shutting it down, but really it's masking the emotion behind the conversation.
So what are some ideas to like handle that? So when they do that, what do you think the underlying root of that is?
Frustration, not feeling like they're being heard.
Who considers themselves a safe place? What makes you a safe place?
I'm able to look at all sides, like pretty clearly.
I listen without judgment.
Yeah.
I'm trustworthy. If you tell me not to tell something, I'm not gonna share it.
That is true, Laura.
Oh, you think you know? I know everything.
Oh,
It's
there's
in the
some
vault. Rusty
things
does
you
have
may
a
not
vault.
know.
On the vault. And people that trust me know that they can trust me.
Right, if one of the 7 human natures is that people want to trust, they have to believe that you're not only listening to them, but you actually truly understand them. And the way to do that is to become a safe place. And so how emotionally do you get to yourself to be in a safe place?
How emotional do you get?
Or how do you emotionally get to where it's not working,
I feel like you can't be too emotional either direction.
right? So you have to be Switzerland, kind of being neutral. But if everyone makes their decisions on emotion, that's one of the key ways to connect with people that you love, is finding that common ground, right? So emotions don't come as facts, they come from the stories we tell ourselves. Who is a master at telling themselves stories about how someone is behaving? Why do we create these stories that, like, let me see if the next slide is, you've seen this quote in my office. I love this quote. It's one of my favorites. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. Why? Because we are telling ourselves a story of how somebody is feeling. And so there's 2 ways to become a safe place, or to like get past this point of people showing up in either violence or silence. And what do you think those 2 ways are? We gotta get there. We gotta
Ways to get past it.
yeah, ways to build that trust and be that safe place where they can get past silence and they'll actually communicate with you rather than going like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll figure it out. Empathy for sure. There's kind of 2 ways that I like to navigate this, and
Give
the
us a
way
letter.
that the book talks about it is 2 ways.
Can I buy a vowel?
Intent and content. So the stories that we tell ourselves often navigate and change this conversation wherever we go, because we're assuming what they feel, or assuming what they know, or assuming how they want to get there. And so people when they understand your intent, how do you portray that? How do you build that trust? They actually believe the intent that you're saying.
Your actions.
Your action, yeah, actions always definitely mask up with that. What else?
Give me a letter.
You've got to come to a mutual purpose. So talking with Todd, they decided to raise their kids Jewish, and she had some challenges with the Catholic Church. But one thing that was really hard for her was this idea of celebrating Christmas. Her mom passed away, and that was really hard for Todd to kind of get to, especially growing up in LA, was like celebrating Christmas. And so they had to get to a mutual purpose of why that would work out. And for Joni, his wife, the purpose was remembering her mom and having a connection with her mom who had passed away. And so he said the first year they would have like a knee-high tree. And he's like, now today that tree reaches to the ceiling, and my kids understand and appreciate. And we actually celebrate Christmas on the 8th day of Hanukkah, that their big gift that they get on the last day of Hanukkah is essentially their Christmas gift. And so it's kind of where they found this mutual purpose that they've agreed upon, and there's no disrespect either way. When you find that mutual purpose, you want to always seek the mutual purpose of what they want and what you want. We always preach in KWRI, right? Win-win or no deal. But most people, when they have to give up something to have a win-win situation, everyone kind of wants the way still a little bit slight. Would you agree? When you have a mutual purpose, whatever that is, find that mutual purpose, and that goes with the digging and asking questions and understanding, and listening and allowing them to be a safe place to do that. And if you let them know your intent is to find a mutual purpose, people tend to open up more. And they actually, when you control those emotions, remove that story from your head. One of the things that, and you guys often hear me talk about, is this idea of reframing. What do we mean by reframing?
Present another reality.
Presented, yeah, exactly. So if you're gonna tell yourself a story of what you think is happening, can you also allow yourself, when that happens, to pause and actually tell the opposite side of that story? Because both could be true, and you won't find that out until you can find this mutual purpose. The other one, as far as content is concerned, you want to focus on creating mutual respect. Right? One of the core human emotions and decisions that most people make is based upon if they feel like they're respected. What are ways that you can show respect in these conversations? How do you build that mutual respect?
Actually listen, don't just listen to respond, listen and let them know you understand how they feel, repeat it back, ask questions.
What kind of questions? If we're trying to get to the feeling that one of the stories in the book that I love that it tells is there's this big budget meeting. And the CEO is coming here in this budget meeting and has challenged the GM to lower the expenses of what they are exactly doing in their travel, staying at less nice hotels, and everything that happens. And the GM was like furious, and he was fidgeting in his chair. The CEO could tell that this GM was super flustered with them asking this. And finally the GM stood up. You expect us to change all these? You're spending over $150,000 on a new furniture and a new building to like sell clients. Like, how can you come at us at like lowering expenses when we're doing the best that we can? And the way that the book describes this CEO, like initially when you get attacked like that and you are a CEO and you're someone that people want to respect, you're losing that mutual respect. Your first response is what? Violence. You silent or violent, right? And so the way that the book goes into this dialogue, that what she did, she took a deep breath and paused. And the way that you want to tell the story is you ask yourself, what is it I really want in this meeting? Now, it's not necessarily mean long-term. What is my real goal at the end of this meeting? And so she took a breath. There was silence for a while. We always talk about, especially in script practice, silence is what? It's a close. Silence is a close. Silence is also a way to control the emotions when you feel slighted or you feel attacked, because I'm sure all of you have been slighted or attacked, right? Just in the story of Justin's one of your, and I'm not trying to be rude, but like, it's a true thing. You felt slighted by one of your clients with the negotiation you came with. And initially you want to go like, you want to respond, all the value I provide, all this, I do this and this, like, no, you take a deep breath, breathe in, focus. What is it I really want? You want future business with that person. You want more referrals because I've already sent you referrals. And so if you focus on what I really want out of that engagement, then ask yourself the question, okay. So and then she was able to respond in a matter of thank you for actually bringing that out and having the courage to actually ask that in this meeting. I know me coming at you this way was extremely harsh, knowing what I'm doing. Let me tell you the reason why we're going about it this way. And so you're able to slow down and de-escalate. He's already upset because you're sliding him. And then when you actually come back with respect and a mutual purpose, what happens to their the relationship comes stronger. And she started out with a compliment. It's always good to start with a compliment. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for allowing me to explain this and having the courage to actually confront me on this. Like having that humility aspect as far as reframing that focus to reactionary and more responsive. What am I making up right now? What's another possible story? Like, does anyone do this in their mind? This has been something that I've been trying to implement as I'm back dating somebody, of like, if she responds a certain way, I'm like, oh, I see. I know where she's going. And I've allowed myself to go, no, I need to ask and actually dig a little deeper with this. Russie?
That I've started asking myself, is this your shitty first draft? It's from Brene Brown. SFD, if you don't want to say the S word, you could call it a crappy first draft, but like she talks about the writing process, and when you're writing a book, you go through crappy first drafts, right? And she's like, is the story you're telling yourself right now the crappy first draft that you're gonna reread it later and go, yeah, that was wrong. That was out of order. Or I input my feelings here where really that wasn't the intention. So I always think of that. And then, I had a life coach one time who I was talking to her and she was saying, like, how many of you create a story so much so that you have already actually held the fight? Let's say a spouse, for example, you're driving home and some things happen throughout the day and you're driving home and you've already created the entire story, the entire fight, the entire argument in your head. You're pulling into your driveway already pissed off, already with exactly how it's going to happen because you just know what it's going to look like, right? That's your shitty first draft. Like, that's not the reality. You've created the story. So I like ask myself, I've been doing this where I'm like, wait, is that real? Or is that the shitty first draft? Like, is that really what's happening here? Or is that the story that I'm telling myself based on my emotions?
Yeah. No, I love that, especially when you get an email and there's no personality or content behind that. It's like, what is this person doing? They're out of their gourd, whatever, like that whole thing of seek first to understand and then seek second to actually help them believe that you understand and reframe that story focus. That is my shitty, indeed my first draft. But it's this emotional intelligence is like a lifelong journey. It's so easy to react and to fire away and defend ourselves and always be on the defensive. One of the things that I think that emotional intelligence does is you're never on the defensive. You take things as they are and being present in knowing where that impacts you and able to reframe that question of like, what is it I really want? Or do I want like a battle with this? And then coming in when you think, and when you get into this pre-fight mode, I'm going to win this. I have a list of points. If he counters with this, I'm going to go here. And if he says this, I'm going to go there. And it's like, now you're emotional. You just want to win. There's no resolve. There's no solution whatsoever. It's not about winning. It's about getting to that mutual purpose and that mutual respect and having the emotional fortitude to ask yourself, what is it I really want? Yeah, Kaylee.
I feel like I've gotten really good at this, but before I got good at it, I would go to Jesse for stuff and my husband for stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is how I'm feeling, help me. And then they would give me a different perspective on it. And I think that's what built so that I could do it for myself. I still go to them sometimes, but now I'm pretty good at doing it by myself.
Yeah.
There's a book that I really like that goes on for what we're talking about. It's probably reality.
Oh, such a good one.
So good, but it really helps with this concept of story to kind of understand that whoever your conflict is with is not your enemy, right? And so if you can remember that the enemy or the problem is an outside factor, not the person, it helps reconstruct that story in your mind of like, how do we actually resolve this?
Yeah, I love that. I actually, along those lines of peace, Marcus asked me, gosh, this was probably November, we went to lunch and he's just like, are you happy? And like, how do you respond to that? Like on the spot, I had no thought to like think about it or journal about it or whatever, like, are you happy? And as I've been thinking about that over like the last few months, I read along those same lines, I read this book that this monk put together. And he was responding to that question as a monk. This is a guy that's like taken, a form of discipline away from anybody else. And he's like, my goal isn't happiness. My goal is peace. And so when you have that, like when you are at peace, I would think that happiness just kind of flows with it. And he also went into the line of like, happiness is actually more a choice. Like you choose how you feel. If you want to like, and we believe what you focus on expands. If you want to focus on the negative, you're going to create an abundance of negative things that result in that. When you focus on peace and what brings you peace and controlling your emotions, you're going to attract the things that actually you're going to see more. Tony Robbins used the analogy like close your eyes and think of red. Now open your eyes and find the red. You're going to go immediately to where the red is in the room. And it's the same thing with if you're focusing on the negative, you're immediately going to go to the negative people, the negative emails, the negative content that actually is going to just increase that. And so just being very aware and self-aware, especially how you feel that peace in the body, allows you to slow down and focus on that same question. What is it that you want out of this? One of the cool things that it talks about and we're like all over the place, so let's just go with it. One of the things in the book that talks about when you're in these conversations and you have something very important to either hold someone accountable or bring up a conversation in a relationship that is an issue with you. And when you come with somebody with the intent of being mutually purposeful and mutually respectful, and you come at them and they get on the defense, what's the best way to react with that? What's the best way to engage with that reaction? Compassion, for sure. Like when you get on the defense, what usually happens? How many of you come up with a number of excuses? Or a number of distractions, or a number of things that have like, well, this happened and this happened, and I didn't know this, and I didn't know this. And when you ask those questions and those things start coming up, you're going to find an underlying issue that needs to be addressed. And so one of the things the book talks about is using bookmarks. So the key is you want to stay on task. You want to get to the root of why you're coming with this person with a critical conversation. And they're bringing up all kinds of reasons of why it didn't work out, why it didn't do this. And there's going to be a pain point. A lot of times people will call this trauma. Wherever it stems from, there's always going to be some pain point that comes out. And if it's important to them, you want to reiterate to them, listen, I get that issue with Jed was really rough. And I sense that that's super important to you. I really want to come back to that. Do you mind if I just let you know how I feel? Like, your talent is superb beyond this. And I believe that you could have done this. And if there was issues, like, let's address that, but can we come back to that? Like, bookmarking heavy topics that matter to people and coming back to them allows that mutual respect and that purpose. Like, the things that are important to them are becoming important to you when you bookmark it. But when you don't have the time to address that in that conversation, especially at listing appointments or buyer consults, when they come back with all these things and you want to be able to bookmark that, can I write this down? Let me focus on this. I know this is important to you. And I believe I have some solutions. Do you mind though if we focus on the tasking? Does that make sense with the bookmarks? I love the idea of the bookmarks. This state skill was actually pretty cool. Our emotions, like, I think the way things look out is we start off with the emotions or the stories we tell ourselves. And I always tell people emotions are neither good or bad. They're just freaking emotions, right? And getting to define those emotions, like if you're, what is the typical response when I'm like, Dalton, how are you, dude?
Great, you?
Fine, right? Fine. And if I look at that, like, why isn't he superb? Why isn't he wonderful? Like, why isn't the sun shining brighter in Dalton's life? Like, I'm already assuming opinions. Let's get to the root of this, whatever. So emotions are neither good nor bad, but they lead to what we believe are facts, right? If you feel a certain way, you believe like that's a fact in your life. Like, this is a genuine fact because I feel this way. This is a fact. How many of you dove down into actually defining your emotions rather than good or bad? Because it's easy to go, that's a bad emotion, that's a good emotion. What if you went even deeper to define that emotion? Like, to really get to the root of why you're feeling a certain way. When you define those emotions on a deeper level, now you're getting to more fact-based of where it actually stems from. And then last, how that leads to is the actual truth. How you feel may not be factual, and it probably isn't fully true. And so when you come back with someone with sharing your facts, the foundation of how you feel, or sharing with what you believe the facts are, but with an open mind to being wrong. I always love the statement, and I'm working at being better at it. I just assume I don't know. And I'm okay being open and willing enough to actually learn what I don't know. Obviously tell your story, ask for their paths, invite dialogue, talk tentatively, avoid absolutes. I am working really hard at avoiding absolutes. That's a very challenging statement in my life. It is so hard, right? Because we think we know everything, but when you come with that, I would say the best way to interact, and the book even goes deeper into this, is being curious in that conversation, being curious in understanding why they feel that way, or how they got to that resolve, or how they got to that emotion. And then encourage testing, like, be okay with disagreement. It's okay to disagree. And Todd Pearl, the broker out in LA, married to a Catholic who's a Jew, like, he has embraced disagreement and find ways to have mutual purpose and mutual respect.
Something that's helped me with emotions is using the words I am feeling mad instead of I am mad.
Yeah.
So that it's just, it's a passing, you get through it versus like I am.
Well, it's very, now, again, I don't wanna keep going down the dating pool. The dating pool is horrible. And I will say this is because everyone is insanely emotional. And on both sides of the aisles, and it's hard to have like an adult, heavy, crucial conversations when emotions are so high because of just the way it goes. And so when something clicks where you emotionally have a stimulating conversation and there's no defense, it's like with a level of curiosity, it will dramatically, and I'm not just saying in like date, but in your relationships, if you come with a genuine level of curiosity and wanting to understand why they got to that way, it will change your whole dynamic and how you talk to people and how you have hard conversations. So the AMP method, this gets them to share, right? When they're in this moment of silent and, violent state, like just ask them what their perspective is. Like, I'm genuinely curious and I'm not making any accusations. I genuinely want to know, like, your perspective. Mirror to reflect their emotion. Like, if you see them feeling a certain way and they're not willing to talk, it's okay to go, Dalton, like, you seem agitated with me, man. And it's just the way I feel. Like, am I off base with that? I am off base with that. Okay, totally. Like, help me understand. Like,
Sorry.
we're,
If you wanted to say. Yes, no, maybe.
But like, get that, but I'm hearing, but I don't come to him in like this accusation way, like, I just feel like you are just a little bit irritated with me. And I, if it's something I really want to get to the root, like, is that something that,
Chris Fawcett, it seems like,
yeah, it seems like it's always a big,
it seems like you might be upset with.
paraphrase to confirm, right? Again, the idea is show me, you know me. When you paraphrase, okay, let me repeat back to you what I think you just said. So I'm crystal clear on what you're saying. Obviously, you as agents, you take notes, you write down everything that's happening and what's going on. Prime if they're holding back. Right? The way to prime seems like you're holding back. It seems like you feel I'm unfair. It seems like you feel like I came about this the wrong way. Help me understand. So the curiosity is the key. My therapist always tells me all the time, I need to be curious, and it drives me crazy because I want all the answers. And so coming with a curiosity state of mind allows you to be open to answers you didn't think existed. And especially in a relationship setting, is being curious and being open to learning and gaining something from that perspective. Move to action, dialogue. Who struggles with long dialogue when it doesn't have any like end in sight? You guys are in the relationship business. This is 100% of what you do. Do you love dialogue? Claudia, for sure. She just wants to know everything about everyone at all the times, all the tea, everything that comes with it.
Something I'm passionate about, yes, if not, shut up.
But what is something you're passionate about then?
Chickens. Thank you.
See, everyone knows. No, the most recent one is unmedicated childbirth. That one, I can talk for days.
A
on that.
medicated childbirth.
Yeah, like no epidural.
My mom would probably love that conversation.
Yeah.
I was the
That-
only one, she had an epidural, but out of 8 kids and she hated it.
Yeah,
Love
but
it.
yeah, baking, anything like homestead related for sure.
So this is one that not a lot of people think about. Decide how decisions will be made. Right? In that process. If people are always programmed to be negative, having it like in a listing presentation or moving forward to get the listing ready, decide how the decisions will be made is a huge talent. And coming in with it, giving them the autonomy, like they're making all the decisions, but deciding how those decisions will be made. Command, consult, vote, consensus. Clarify who does what, by when, and how we will follow up. Document commitments and ensure accountability. Who actually holds their clients accountable?
Yeah,
Give me an idea of how you hold them accountable.
like following up with them, like, hey, you said you were gonna get the dump trailer this weekend, did you guys get that? Or hey, you're gonna box up your house, did you get that? Or
Right.
hey, you're gonna have the.
Do people like to be held accountable?
I think it depends on how you approach it.
It accomplishes the goal.
Yeah,
When it's in their best interest, like
and you
you,
say it nicely.
yeah, what holding them accountable means that you're vested in their success, right? Accountability, you want their goals as much as they do. Rusty's email says, your goals are my goals. Like you are vested in their success when you actually keep them accountable in a sense of moving the needle forward. So people actually want the accountability, even though that's an initial like fight off, like I don't need that. But when you hold your clients accountable or potential clients to that in those conversations, you'll win more clients over with adding a value of accountability. Takeaways, self-reflection questions. What am I acting like I want? Do you know, like if you're in the next crucial conversation, see how your body language is, your facial, like what am I acting like I want? Am I avoidance? Am I being more silent? Am I speaking up? Am I actually listening? Like notice how you are sitting, how your body language engages with people when you're in those situations. What do I really want? That's like, when you have a crucial conversation coming up, be crystal clear on this. When you're crystal clear on this, you will not use a sugar-coated or a florid and flowery way of conveying like what's important with the people that you're engaging with. Your workplace, personal relationships, core lessons, safety is the secret to dialogue. There was I guess did you guys know that universal sign for being a safe person is the semicolon? So my therapist actually got a tattoo, which she hates tattoos, what's funny, but she got the semicolon right here. And she wants people, because I guess that's the younger generation. I still consider myself a younger generation. But I didn't know what that meant, so maybe I'm not in that avenue anymore. It just that can also be really scary. I'm safe, kids, come on over. But the semicolon, it means you're a safe place for the LGBTQ community, for the military community, for any of those people that may think, you know, who you are. And so she got that. She's like, I just want people that understand this image that I'm a safe place and someone they can actually engage with. So safety is the secret to dialogue. If people feel safe with you, they will tell you everything. And when they tell you everything, you can quickly get to the root of the issue, get to the root of why that emotion showed up. And they can self-assess, they can self-realize like where they're at personally. Because most people can't get to the root of their own emotions by themselves. So who's good at getting to the root of their emotions right now? I'm pretty good about it. Rusty knows this because I think deep about it all the time. But it's like sometimes the most crucial conversation you'll ever have is with yourself. Like that's the most important conversation, really what you have is in between your two ears. I mean, that's what I truly do love. That's my favorite, and I've even adopted in my own business, what you focus on expands. Because that internal conversation and dialogue and questioning and coming from a level of curiosity, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel a lack of clarity? Allows you to dive deeper. And so I challenge you to have those conversations with yourself in this facet. Emotions come from stories. We can change them. Mastering these tools make us better leaders, friends, and partners. In the closing conversation that I had with Todd was the dialogue that he had with his son, and they both just got bar mitzvahed in March. He actually invited me out to the party. He said it was more expensive than like his wedding. So I don't know if they're twin boys, and so they had like 350 guests that came to this. And has anybody ever seen like a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, how it works? It's pretty cool. Like it's a coming of age. They were each given $3,500 to go towards a Jerusalem, Israel trip, which I thought was really cool. But his son, after the bat mitzvah, took all this courage and passion to come to his dad, Todd, and was just like, Dad, I really believe I'm an atheist. Like, I don't believe any of this. Like, initially, if that's like one of your kids that comes to you, and it's something you believe heavy, like, where do your emotions go?
I don't know.
Like initially, and some of you have heard this story. This kind of happened with me growing up LDS. Wasn't a fan of church, still struggle with enjoying church most of the time. My buddies and I would take the Suburban and go to the gas station after sacrament meeting and get drinks and then go watch football and then come back for like priesthood because we had this Nazi scout leader. And on the way home one time, as I was coming through, I lost control of the car and hit a sign because I was pouring my drink out the window to land on my friend that was doing this. And I hit the sign, just totally destroyed the door, like just crushed it. And I remember going like, I'm dead. They're literally going to murder me. So I drove my friends up and then like fled to my brother's house that lived way out in White Hills, which is way past Saratoga Springs. And my brother called my parents and kind of had the conversation with, my brother was really cool and like, Tim, you don't know your brothers. Like, this is nothing. Wait till you hear the stories of like things we did at that age. So I finally drove home about 8 o'clock when the sun was down. And right when I walked in, my mom lost it. This is what happens when you don't follow Jesus. This is what happens when you sin. Like, this is what the result is. You could have killed somebody. And it was just, do you think that was a good emotional thing that I needed to hear?
Absolutely.
My dad had giant tears in his eyes, like crying uncontrollably. And I'm like, Dad, I'm so sorry. And he's like, no, pal, I'm sorry. I thought I taught you better. I thought I did a better job, and Dad needs to be better about how I show up. Like, he immediately like reflected in, I would have rather him just kick the shit out of me at that time. Like, it would have been so much easier. And so this conversation of seeing how Todd navigated this, and the first thing he said was, okay, this is really hard for me, because Todd's pretty staunch and comes from a mom that's like hardcore. And he's like, that sounds like you put a lot of work to this. I love that you're intentional in trying to figure out, what do you think? And they just got into the root of where this stems from and friends and school and what he wants to pursue in life. And he's like, okay, these are great things. A lot of the success I attribute myself is being disciplined in the religion. What if we sat down with the rabbi and just discussed ways to at least stay true to our core values, and you can still have this belief that there is no God? And the son's like, okay, and they sat down with it. And so he's like, my son believes this still, but he's decided to keep this moral compass in his life, to use it as a base to like behave in how he treats people. But he's like expanding and going down this road. And I just thought it was a super mature way without reacting. Like, if I could say anything to anybody, let's eliminate any reaction from how we engage with people. Deep breath, pause. What do I really want right now? And then emotionally control the story. And I think that's it. Yep. You good? Is he here? Thanks, guys. My man. Oh, missed it. Joseph? Supposed to be in 10 too, right? What's that?
I saw a lady. Oh, he's right there.
He's coming.
And if anybody needs help with emotionally controlling things, I know a guy. There you go. How you doing, Joseph?
Sounded like a fiery sermon.
I wouldn't say that.
Were you in a car crash or what was?
Yes.
You're here though.
Chasing down evil.
There you go. Oh, nice. I'm Joseph Fitzgerald. I'm with P Renter Layton Property Management, and my wife Brooklyn. We work together. She's handing out the paper. Definitely, she's the eye candy of the organization. So sorry I'm up here. She'll be up here in a second. But yeah, who here likes to work with investors? Awesome. We've got definitely property investors are one of the most repeatable customers. And so working with investors definitely can make a big difference. And I know in the $1 million real estate agent that Keller Williams put out, it's lead generation is huge. And so one of our goals with real estate agents is to help them to work with investors if you're not already. And we do that a lot by providing rental analyses. So I'll just hand these out to each table. You can move this one there. But we can do rental analysis for real estate agents to kind of help your investors know how much they could get out of a property, help them to maybe start investing. A lot of things that we try to do is to get our current property owners and turn them into investors. So those people who you've already sold a house to, maybe it's time that they become property investors and you're their real estate agent and you keep that going and help them buy and sell more and more houses. We do have a few tools that we can offer real estate agents. One is the rental analysis. We can also pay $250 per door. So if you had someone with 10 units and you sent them our way, not only do we lock them in for you, so when they're ready to sell, that we're getting you on the line and having you talk to them, we can, for those 10 doors, it'd be 2,500. So if you do know investors, we'd love to keep you in the loop with them when they're ready to buy or sell, hold them down for you, and then also pay you for those. And we also have a 21-point screening process, so we're getting really, really good people in there so that when it does come time to sell, the place isn't destroyed. And then my wife is going to share some of our 4 guarantees, but before she does, if one of you, I've got a $15 gift card for anyone who answers the ending question right. So keep in mind what she said.
So pay attention.
Pay attention. Thank you.
It's their real quiz worth coffee.
Yeah.
Pay attention to this.
You're looking tired.
We talked about our love for coffee.
Nice. We do, so we have our 4 guarantees. Our first one is a leasing guarantee. So if the property meets our minimum condition standards, we guarantee that we'll lease it out in 30 days, or we comp that first month's management fee. We also, along with that, have a resident guarantee. So Joseph mentioned our 21-point screening process. We are so confident in getting a good resident in the property that if it ever comes a time that a resident needs to be evicted, that we cover the costs, we take care of it, just because we're so confident that won't happen. And then we also have a maintenance guarantee that the job will get done right the first time. So if we send one of our trusted vendors in to get a job done and it doesn't work out, we cover the cost for that second person to come in and take care of it. And then our last one is our service guarantee. So we believe that our clients should want to work with us based on our service, what we provide. So we have no early cancellation, just give a 30-day notice if they're unhappy with the services. Then we just kind of move on from there. So those are 4 of our guarantees that we provide.
Yeah. Then, how many points was it in that screening process?
4.
21. Come on, man, 4. But there was the 4 maintenance
That's right.
guarantee. So it wasn't meant to be a trick question, but so,
They were both like, yeah.
Yeah, we looked at each other like, we're going to college.
Get your hands as quick as possible. No, awesome. Thank you guys, and I hope that every one of you becomes $1 million real estate agent. I know that Keller Williams has quite the reputation, so I was very excited to be here, and I know you guys are all rock stars. So thank you all very much. Joseph from Brooklyn with Key Renter Layton.
You guys are gonna hang out for a minute if anyone has questions. Hey, awesome. If you guys have questions, go chat with them. Thanks so much. Thanks, Tim, for a great class. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
What was it called? I meant, you can't eat cake.
Oh, I can't eat. No, they went and get like
Wheat, nuts,
Yeah.
almonds.
Even though I eat it.